Hi, I am Pastor Elvis Soto, and I'm here after the return of my recent trip to the nation of Nicaragua, and I'm here to share with you the opportunity to be part of the outreach to this beautiful nation. Well, Nicaragua is a beautiful country. When you get there, you are amazed about everything that you see. You see so natural beauties, you know, the buildings of the probably 2 centuries ago, the housing. But when you look at people, you see a lot of need. You need a lot of emotional need, spiritual needs. Only the stats tell you that 56% are Catholics, only 20%, 21% of the population are Christian, and the rest, we're talking about more than 30% of the population are not even Catholic or Christian, evangelical Christians. So there is a spiritual need so deep in the population with so many physical needs and basic needs that how can they afford or how can they live without God in that kind of stress, needing a housing, living in extreme poverty in some places. And that goes then to the emotional need that comes from so many kids in the street asking for money, selling new stuff, and probably sustaining the whole family. The orphanage are full. Churches are not that many. We need more churches. But also we need to go there and reach out for those churches and share our gospel, contemporary gospel, because the traditional gospel is so difficult sometimes to bear and for people to understand. So, but I found a man of God there in Rio Blanco, Nicaragua. His name is Natividad. He's been serving the Lord for many, many years, but his heart is being changed to understand the grace of God. And also another man of God called Venancio Cruz. He's a pastor. He was formerly a mayor. And he is reaching out for the community like never before. And that's the kind of people that we're going to be working with. And this trip is so amazing just because I didn't only see the need that they might have basically to live, but also the emotional needs and also the spiritual need that is easily perceived in the population and the people in Nicaragua. Well, we met a lawyer a few hours from Managua, and she is willing to help us. She told me, we're not going to charge anything, but we're going to help you to establish Bethel in Nicaragua. So we were prepared for that. We, from here, we brought all the paperwork and the necessary documentation to put that in place. And so she took all the paperwork and she's working to have Bethel established as a legal institution, Christian institution in Nicaragua. So we can go from there. So our next trip, we will be organized according to the laws of Nicaragua institution in that country, with the opportunity of ordained ministries, established churches, up and up missions. So that was the outcome of being at least prepared for that, and God provided a person to make it happen. I believe that just stepping out the airport and start, looking at people and praying for people. I can tell you that I was right at the hotel in front of the airport before leaving to Rio Blanco next day. And when I'm there, I was speaking to the pastor that was picking me up, and a security guard came to me after we were having a conversation, a private conversation, not with him, and he came to me and he asked me to pray with him to receive Christ. And so just because I was a pastor, I was not preaching, I was not presenting the gospel to no one. He heard me as a pastor talking to this other pastor, and he asked me to pray for him to receive Christ. And that was an evidence of the need that they have, but also the level of response that we're going to get of our effort. So I believe that everything that we invest in this land is going to produce a great harvest just because they're ready for God's visitation. And I want to be part of that, and I want you to be part of that too. Well, I did a lot of driving, because I didn't bring a chauffeur with me, and the pastor who picked me up didn't have a license. So, and there's a lot of distance between the missions and the churches that we visit. If you are from Nicaragua and you're watching this video, probably you're going to see that we travel, and we travel to Jalapas, from Rio Blanco to Esquipula, La Dalia. So we're talking about 22 hours round trip, 11 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours round trip, and on paved roads, most of it, in a 4x4 manual pickup. So it was a hard labor just driving, and I did a lot of that. But besides that, I had the opportunity to preach. I had these meetings with pastors, sharing the vision that we have as a church, but also I had the opportunity to take the mic and speak to the people and touch their hearts with the gospel. And it was a great response. It was great. People crying, people giving their lives to Christ, people getting healed. It was amazing. I remember a young man. There's a town called La Dalia. He was there, and he didn't have Christ, but he was invited for that day to the church. He came to Christ. And then at the end of the service, he took the mic and he testified that he hated his father with all his guts. He hated him. But that night, he decided to give his life to Christ and also to forgive his father, finally. And his brother was there. And I think there's a picture, his sister was there, her mom, and they all hug him and cry all over him because they knew what they were going through, and that was an amazing moment. Well, the official coin in Nicaragua is the Cordoba. In Cordoba, for each dollar, you get 21 Cordobas. So, and a person, daily labor wages is about $3 to $6 in most cases. But the price of even the food is expensive. So that's why even the kids are asking for money in the street and try to do something. There's a lot of need of better housing, and also a lot of jobs. There's a lot of land, unused land, that we pray God that in the future will provide industry and jobs and agriculture. But we are praying also to be part of some kind of effort to help the churches and provide jobs and provide income for those churches. And that is part of our dream and our prayer in that regard.